Our journey so far has built the Stoic citadel from the foundation of the dichotomy of control and the walls of virtue, arete. But every fortress resides in a territory, and that territory is the cosmos, governed by an implacable and omnipresent force, fate. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why is there suffering in a universe said to be rational? This is not just a theological question but the central question of psychological survival. The Stoic answer is not passive resignation, but a doctrine of deep rational acceptance and an active love for everything that happens. Amor Fati. Amor Fati is the practice that allows virtue to be fully exercised in the real world. It is the science of not just accepting fate, but of desiring it. It is the culmination of all Stoic philosophy. To understand it in its entirety, we must delve into Stoic physics, its cosmology, and confront the problem of suffering and evil, comparing the Stoic solution with nihilism and fatalism. The Stoic cosmos, logos, Providence, and the impersonal God. The basis of Amor Fati is the understanding of the nature of the universe. For the Stoic, the cosmos is not chaotic, but a living, unique, and rational entity, animated by the logos, the universal reason, the active principle, the mind of God. Logos and Providence. The Stoics are determinists because they believe that the logos acts as a benevolent providence. It is not a providence that interferes miraculously, but a providence that establishes a perfect chain of cause and effect, where nothing happens without purpose in the universal architecture. The world is, therefore, the best of all possible worlds, for it is governed by perfect reason. Fate, Heimarmenē fate or Heimarmenē, is this chain of causality. It is the law that ensures every event, great or small, is a necessary link in the cosmic order. The Stoic does not believe in accidents. An unfortunate event, a shipwreck, the loss of a child, illness, is not a mistake or a punishment, but a causal consequence perfectly inserted into the fabric of the logos. To accept fate is to accept reason. The conflict with the dichotomy. Fate governs the external world, the uncontrollable. But, as we have seen, the prohairesis, the rational will, is the only point of freedom. Stoicism is a compatibilist determinism. The cosmos is determined, but your response to it is free. The practice of Amor Fati is the fusion of these two truths, accepting external determinism and using internal freedom to love it. The Stoic Theodicy. The problem of evil and adversity. In a universe governed by reason and providence, how do the Stoics explain suffering and evil? This is their theodicy, justification of God. Moral evil, vice. The only true evil for the Stoic is vice, the choice to act irrationally against nature. This evil is entirely human and resides in the prohairesis. Suffering, pain, loss, is not an evil, but an indifferent. The function of adversity. The Stoics argue that adversities, illness, poverty, war, are not evil, but necessary material for the exercise of virtue. It is adversity that allows us to manifest courage, Andrea, temperance, sophrosyne, and wisdom, phronesis. Without war, there is no material for the courageous soldier. Without illness, there is no material for the patient Stoic. Providence uses adversity as a training ground. The principle of oikeiosis and pain. Individual suffering is justified in relation to the health of the whole, the cosmos. Just as the loss of a leaf is necessary for the health of the tree, individual tragedy is necessary for the coherence and reason of the whole. Pain is an acceptable and necessary cost for the cosmic order, and the wise person, by the principle of oikeiosis, familiarization, accepts the good of the whole as superior to his own physical good. Amor Fati. The radical practice of loving fate. Amor Fati is the climax of practical Stoic philosophy. It is more than acceptance. It is an affirmative attitude toward life in all its manifestations. The distinction from acceptance. Passive acceptance. This is fatalistic resignation. There is nothing I can do. Amor Fati. This is active and rational acceptance. What happened is what was meant to happen. I not only accept this, but I wholeheartedly desire it, for it is the perfect expression of the Logos, and therefore the best material for my virtue. The psychological process of Amor Fati. 1. Classification, dichotomy. The event is external and uncontrollable. 2. Evaluation, Logos. The event is necessary and part of the perfect Providence, the best of all possible worlds. 3. Internalization, virtue. The event is the necessary material for exercising my prohairesis, courage, patience. 4. Affirmation, Amor Fati. I do not just endure, but I embrace and love what fate has brought me, for it is my only reality. Marcus Aurelius and Amor Fati. Marcus Aurelius expressed this perfectly. Everything that is in harmony with you, O cosmos, is in harmony with me. He did not just tolerate the plagues and wars. He saw himself as a minister of the Logos, fulfilling his duty in the exact moment and circumstance that the cosmos had placed him. Amor Fati in daily life. The practice involves the active search for beauty in inevitability. It is seeing the flight delay not as an inconvenience, but as a perfect opportunity to exercise patience and read. It is seeing loss not as a tragedy, but as a lesson about the transitory nature of all external things. Philosophical contrast I. Stoicism versus fatalism and nihilism. It is crucial that Amor Fati is not confused with the passivity of other schools of thought. Stoicism occupies the active middle ground between fatalism and nihilistic revolt. Fatalism. The fatalist believes that what will be, and therefore does not act. He uses fate as an excuse for inaction. The Stoic, on the contrary, is a proactive determinist. He accepts that the final result, the indifferent, is fixed, but he knows that his action and intention, the kathekanta and virtue, are the active and necessary links in that causal chain. The Stoic exerts 100% effort in what is controllable because virtuous effort is his duty and his freedom. The fatalist does not. Nihilism. The nihilist, like the mid-20th century nihilistic existentialist, looks at the disordered universe and concludes that there is no meaning, which leads to despair. The Stoic, however, looks at the universe and finds the Logos, the perfect reason. The meaning of life is given by reason, and it is virtue. The Stoic finds meaning in the order, where the nihilist finds despair in the perceived chaos. Nietzsche's curious adoption. Friedrich Nietzsche, a fierce critic of Stoic resignation, paradoxically embraced and popularized the term Amor Fati. For Nietzsche, Amor Fati was the way for the superior individual to affirm life despite the lack of cosmic meaning, celebrating everything that is, including suffering. Although the bases, Logos versus absence of God, are different, the practical result is the same: the joyful and total affirmation of present reality. The hymn to the cosmic order. Amor Fati is the hymn to the cosmic order. It is the acceptance that every moment, every joy and every pain is the perfect raw material that the Logos has given you to exercise your virtue and realize your rational nature. The dichotomy of control is the border. Amor Fati is the embrace you give to the external territory that this border defines. By loving what is inevitable, you become invincible. Your daily task is to stop fighting against the facts of reality. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What has the Logos given me at this moment so that I can exercise courage, patience, and wisdom?" If you are ready to transform acceptance into an active force and love your destiny, leave the comment Amor Fati below. Subscribe to The Hidden Meaning and discover freedom in inevitability.